I really grew up in Tonopah. My father was an immigrant to this country. He and his parents came over to run, and they ran an Italian grocery store in Tonopah. My mother had driven a truck for the Army during World War II and passed through Tonopah. It was a wonderful place to grow up in your early years because, as my mother would say, everybody knew everybody and their dogs in Tonopah. And then in 1963, we moved to Las Vegas. I found a niche in my life early, and that niche was student government. And to me, what government is solving people's problems at any age and stage. And it led to me running for vice president of my high school and president of my university. So I was elected in 1970. One of the reasons I was elected student body president is because I worked in the dining commons and I knew everybody who came through the line. So I got to campaign all those years without even knowing I was campaigning by serving food and cleaning up in the dining commons. So not getting a job in the library because I love books, but getting a job in the dining commons at the University of Nevada, Reno helped me become student body president of that school. So I graduated from UNR in 1971. I went to Washington, D.C. That summer, and I began my job with Senator Alan Bible. I chose to go to George Washington University, and I can remember that this person on this side was from, I think, Brown University, and this person on the other side was from the London School of Economics. Well, I was the only person in that crowd that had gone to the University of Nevada. Fast forward later, and I look back at my law school class. You know, I'm one of the few people in our law school class that wound up as an attorney general, and I'm one of the few people in our class that wound up arguing in the United States Supreme Court. One of the projects that I did when I was in law school, there was a fabulous old house called the Sewell Belmont House on Capitol Hill. And the architect of the Capitol was getting ready to build the third Senate office building. And they were taking by eminent domain all of the land to build that third office building. Well, on the corner is a very historic place called the Sewell Belmont House, which had been the headquarters of the National Women's Party, which is our suffrage party. And so Mrs. Chittick, who was the then president of the National Women's Party, asked me if I would help to draft the legislation and testify to save the Sewell Belmont House from eminent domain. It became one of the first monuments dedicated to women in our country. It has inside of it all of the suffrage memorabilia, plus other memorabilia. What I decided is that I really wanted to do politics full-time. I was fortunate to be elected Secretary of State, first woman Secretary of State. Everyone who does business in the state of Nevada will do business with that office. The reason you run is because you think you're really qualified to do the job, and that your experience is going to benefit the position that you're trying to seek. And so I did decide to run for Attorney General. I was fortunate to run and win 3 terms. So I served 12 years. I'll go down in history possibly as the longest serving Attorney General of our state because we now have term limits. And I was the first woman elected. What I tell young people to look for in life is look for your passion. I mean, look for something that if you didn't have to eat, you would do it for nothing. And for me, that was government and helping solve people's problems.